Hey guys, the draft is over and now it's time to, while we wait to figure out what's going to happen with the season, it's time to kind of predict and see, get our opinions out on how we think about teams have done and how we now have free agency gone and the draft is gone, so we kind of know what the teams are going to look like, bar the inevitable trades that could happen with the likes of Jamal Adams and Yannick Ngakoue and Leonard Fournette and all these kind of big name guys are kind of thrown around the place. We kind of know what way teams are going to be, so I thought it would be a good idea to start ranking some of the divisions, all of the divisions really, starting off the AFC East. Obviously my personal division because I'm a Patriots fan. You wouldn't know from the Ravens jersey, but that's just because I just got it from my co-owner of this page. So I'm going to start off with ranking the AFC East as of now after the draft and free agency has happened. So at number 4, they all drafted relatively well. Really well actually. I think they're nearly the only division that I graded above B for every team. So I'm going to go to New York Jets at number 4. I think they're number 4 unless the Dolphins flop or the Patriots have a complete drop off now without Brady being there, but I don't think they will. So obviously they got Denzel Mims, which is a weapon that Sam Darnold really needed, and the first pick was Mekhi Becton because obviously they really needed someone to protect Sam Darnold because the man, first of all, Adam Gase I don't trust as a head coach. I don't think, as we've seen with Tannehill, if Tannehill's in the right situation, everyone blamed Tannehill back in the day with the Dolphins that he was the issue and not Adam Gase. While it seems from last season Adam Gase is still an issue. So Sam Darnold definitely needed help. He got Denzel Mims, he got Mekhi Becton, he got some help, even though in free agency they picked up like 4 or 5 offensive linemen in free agency and none of them were anywhere near Mekhi Becton's ceiling, I guess, or his potential. So they definitely still needed to get a lineman despite getting all those guys. And they got Brashad Perryman as well, who was a good weapon in the Tampa Bay offense last season. Obviously he's overshadowed by the likes of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, always below those kind of guys. So he's not exactly up there, but he's still helpful. They obviously have Quincy Enunwa, Jameson Crowder, Josh Doxson re-signed there. They still have some weapons there, but don't have much. But I think the likes of Denzel Mims will help get Le'Veon Bell more involved in the offense than he was last season. So yeah, they're going to be my number 4. My number 3 is obviously going to be the Miami Dolphins, who drafted extremely well. And even last season from the team they had last year, they just have, like, Brian Flores brought this winning mentality into them, like everyone kind of assumed he would. And I think they have a chance to be very good. The Patriots and schedule and this kind of stuff is going to impact these guys a lot. But like Tua, they finally got Tua. They tanked for Tua, even though they won some games last year, didn't want to win. They got Austin Jackson, they got Solomon Kindley, they got some good help on the offensive line and draft as well. And then obviously, I think an underrated guy they got was Malcolm Perry from Navy because he can be used as a quarterback. He probably be used as running back, wide receiver. He can be used anywhere. Curtis Weaver they got late in the draft, who might, because they definitely need speed off that defensive line because they got nothing. And they got Raekwon Davis at defensive tackle, which is going to help stopping the run. But Robert Hunt they also got in the offensive line, forgot about him. But they seem like a team that they're poised to do a lot better than they've ever done, especially in my lifetime of watching them. And in free agency they got Van Noy, Shaq Lawson, Emmanuel Ogba, and Jordan Howard. So they've got, especially they definitely needed Jordan Howard because their starting running back would have been Keelan Balajian, and we saw bad that went last season, even though they still got rid of Kenyon Drake, who obviously shined in Arizona, but that's beside the point. Yeah, so I think they're still 3rd. I still think unless the Bills and the Patriots fall off a lot, I don't see them pushing into the playoffs next season. They definitely have to go in the right way because, like everyone says, the hardest thing to get in the rebuild is the right head coach, and Brian Flores definitely seems like the right head coach to have there. And Tua, despite his injuries, people have a lot of trust in him, so I think you have to trust that and just hope he's going to, just like they've done, they've built a strong offensive line around him now. They've given him weapons. They have Devontae Parker, Alan Hearns, Ricardo Luis, who's not too bad. They've got him weapons to help. Jordan Howard, I think they're definitely still some guys away, and they obviously got Byron Jones in free agency as well to go with Xavier Howard. So they've built what they need to do to go forward, which is definitely good, especially for the city of Miami and for the competition in the AFC East, especially with the Patriots the way they're going. It's definitely good to have Another team that's really on the way up, which seems to be all of them, bar the Patriots, are the only team that seem to not have their franchise quarterback going ahead. So speaking of the Patriots, they are my number 2 for the first time, God, 20 years at least. They're the number 2 in the division. Like, it's... Well, let me start off with, I'm happy with what they drafted. I wanted them to draft a quarterback, but we didn't. We still signed Jamar Smith from Louisiana Tech and Brian Lewerke from Michigan State, who I watched a few times last season, and he's a decent quarterback. They're probably not going to be starters, and it's going to be Jar Stidham who's going to be a starter. But I think they drafted really well. Like, our defense, we lost a lot. We lost Harmon, we lost Van Noy, we lost Jamie Collins. We lost really key guys in that defense. Like, our DBs are fine. I think we're fine with the McCourty twins. We're fine with JC Jackson. We're fine with Jonathan Jones. We're definitely fine with Stephon Gilmore. But we definitely need to shore up that front 7, and getting guys like Josh Uche and Fernie Jennings. Like, these are guys. Josh Uche definitely, he's a complete he's what you want off your edge. And he seems kind of like a Dante Hightower, which we definitely need because Dante Hightower is getting up in age. He's definitely that next pass rusher for us to go on the opposite side of a Chase Winovich, a fellow Michigan Wolverine. Like, I think that's a good way to set it up. And then we obviously got Devin Asiasi, who looks like he reminds me of kind of OJ Howard with his speed and athleticism, but he's also going to be a work in progress. Dalton Keene is the kind of blocking tight end we've needed for a while, which is where we always used to be when we had the likes of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez on opposite sides. It was always a good thing, and we invested a lot in tight ends. We drafted 2 fairly early. And then obviously on the defensive side, we got Kyle Duggar was our first pick. Obviously we kind of traded back to get him. So when Antoine Winfield and likes of them were still on the board, it was weird taking Kyle Duggar because he's such a project for us. Obviously in a system, like everyone says, he needed a good system for him to work out, and obviously you can't get much better than Bill Belichick and the Patriots system. So it'd be interesting to see what way he uses, what he'll turn out to be, especially with Patrick Chung misses a lot of games every season. So, and we lost Harmon, so we've got thin at safety, I would say, because Devin McCourty is obviously the star, he's our captain, but we definitely needed someone in there, and he's a very high upside. Obviously, he wouldn't be the only D2 guy drafted if people didn't think he'd a high upside. So you kind of have to trust the system again, as you always do. But I think we're set up to a fact where I'd want us to be, which is, I think we'll fight for a wildcard spot, but I still think it'll be hard because AFC got so much better. Like, a lot of 2 and 3 seeds from other divisions look like they could probably have winning records next season, where we look like we'll be pushing for a 500 record, above 500 record if we're lucky, which is what I'm looking for. So I think we're still second fiddle for now, which means my number 1 is obviously the Buffalo Bills. Like, they also had another good draft, and a good free agency. Like, they spent their money. Like, in free agency, their defensive line has gotten huge. They've gotten Vernon Butler, Mario Addison, Quinton Jefferson from Seahawks, and then obviously they got Josh Norman to kind of shore out the back end. I don't trust him at all. He's still not as good as he thought he was. I think he'd be moving to safety soon enough. But yeah, they traded for Stephon Diggs, which what they got him for cost a lot, but they still ended up with AJ Epinesa, Zach Moss. You got Davis and Hodgins, wide receiver, 2 quick wideout, just fits their system because who wants to sling the ball? Josh Allen. Who's your quarterback? Josh Allen. So you need the speed, and then you have Stephon Diggs as the short hands, and John Brown again. Like, the speed on that team is unbelievable. Isaiah McKenzie's there as well. The speed there they might be one of the fastest in the league. But yeah, they got them, and then they got Jake Fromm, who's definitely a solid backup to have behind the likes of Josh Allen, because he's a completely different quarterback. They seem like the defense is like, that defensive line is in the talks as the best defensive line in the league, with the likes of San Fran as always, and the Washington Redskins, the Eagles, these kind of guys. Like, they're just huge. And AJ Epinesa, I think, with the way he's going to be the fastest off this line, with the likes of Ed Oliver, Jerry Hughes is still there, Latulele is there. Like, I know you've Mario Addison. Like, he's so much to work off, and those DBs, Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, all these guys, like, they have so much there now. They seem poised to be the 1 seed coming out of the AFC East, and I think they're definite for the playoffs, especially if they work out. And I trust Josh Allen because I know a lot of teams say he kind of just heaves the ball, but now he's got the speed and the weapons is almost. It's like a. If you take, it's like last year's Tampa Bay offense where it looks like it's going to be all deep balls, it's going to be speed, it's going to be a high octane offense, but they have like Devin Singletary and Zach Moss out the backfield, so I think that shores them up a lot. And you have Jake Fromm in case Josh Allen's out of the pocket presence gets him injured, so you have a safe thing behind him. So I think, and he was Sean McDermott head coach, which I really like. He was my head coach this season last year. I just think he's with it, as the kids would say. And who was the kid? Yeah, and they have Dawson Knox, who's a beast. He looks like baby Gronk. So yeah, I have them at number 1. So I have in the AFC East, which is very different for me from the past couple of years, is at number 4. I have New York Jets and Sam Darnold. At number 3, I have Tua and the Dolphins. At number 2, I have Stidham/Hoyer with the Patriots, and at number 1, I have the Buffalo Bills. So tune in next time. Don't know if it'll be the day after or whatever it be, but for the AFC North standings. Peace out.